Hello, my name is Kevin, and here at my channel, we're usually learning how to make the web and how to make it look good while we're at it. But this week it's a little bit different with a bit of a discussion about, so you want to be a freelancer? And it's going to be a bit of a ramble maybe about the ideas and the concept of freelancing, because it is something that in this industry is really easy to do. And it's something that I've seen a lot of people aiming towards, right? I have comments about how to get into it, or I've had discussions with people on social media about that either are freelancing or are wanting to get into freelancing. So I thought it'd be a good discussion to have. Hi, my name is Kevin, and as I already said, we're going to be talking about freelancing. And the reason this discussion has come up is I've recently finished the book by Paul Jarvis called Company of One. And it's a book that's about wanting to start your own business, but taking a contrarian point of view on it. Now, his book is coming out on January 15th, and this is not a paid promotion for it. He was kind enough to give me an advance for it, and when I told him the book was really good and I loved it, he offered 3 copies to give away to my YouTube audience here, and there'll be signed copies that are available for giveaway. So if you want to know more about that, I'll be talking about it at the end of the video. But this discussion is about freelancing and or starting your own company, and it's something that we can do in this industry because it's so easy to actually be able to do. I know based on the comments that you guys leave down below, as well as some of the interaction I've had with you on Twitter and Instagram, that many of you are either working freelance or you are students and on the side you're doing freelance projects and stuff like that, which is really awesome. And just as full disclosure, I haven't worked in any industry actually really for quite a while. I do freelance, but my main job right now, and it has been for the last 5 years, has been as a teacher. But I also think that's given me a bit of a unique perspective because as a teacher, I deal with students going out on stage, and I've been to stages and I've talked with the people who are out there running companies and hiring people and students and stuff like that. Now, most of my students are more in the design train than necessarily the development train, but I still think a lot of the ideas here are really relevant. And what I really liked about Paul's book is it's sort of, the book itself isn't so much an idea of how to succeed as a freelancer, or as he calls it, a company of one. It's about giving an opposite point of view or a contrarian point of view, which from what I see is missing a lot. I follow a lot of things about freelancing and about the idea of running your own company, and so often they talk about good work ethic, which is awesome, but it's a lot of it ends up being about growth and fast and go, 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 go. There's places like Sean West, there's Gary Vee, there's a bunch of others that I'm not thinking of right now that do amazing and wonderful, and they're so motivated. It's impressive. And I think that motivation is important, and hearing people that can inspire you to work harder is awesome, especially if you want to start your own company or start your own thing and you're looking at doing something like that, even if it's just a side gig. Because if you're a student, sometimes it's really awesome just to do some projects on the side. But it's not always about pushing the envelope as much as possible. So much advice now, you see the startup culture and things like that. And I think the thing I loved about Paul's book is the idea that that's not the only way to do things. Here's a different way to do it, and maybe this way is for you and maybe it's not, but it's the idea of presenting a way of slow growth. And the nice thing with what we do is there is the opportunity to freelance, whether it's full-time or part-time, and the overhead is super small. You need an internet connection, code editors are free, browsers are free. You pretty much need an internet connection and a computer, and that's it, and you can run your own business, which is amazing. There's lots of jobs out there like that today. And so, you don't need an office space. You don't need to push things. And I've done this. I said, my YouTube channel is growing, and I've thought like, wow, like maybe if I got up to this and I could make more income like this and this, I could upgrade. Like right now, I'm in my basement and it's not a nice setup. If you looked at the other side, it's all my kids' toys. I could upgrade this to be at like a office space where I could have my own setup and not worry about all the other stuff, and a professional camera. I need a new camera. I need a new computer. And it's really easy to envision the ways that once you start making more money, you can spend more money. And that's not always the best idea. The best idea sometimes is to find a way that you can be profitable as simply as possible, which is a simple computer, a free browser, a free code editor, and you're off and running and looking for clients. The other thing though is I have, stepping aside from Paul's book for a second, which is really good, and I really encourage anyone who's thinking about going freelance or starting to read it just for the contrarian point of view. I think it's super important not to get caught up in a lot of the hype that you see today. But I also think not to get caught up in, I want to be a freelancer and I want to do my own thing. And even though most of my students are design and not code, I see a lot of people doing this. A lot of students want to just get a job and they don't necessarily want to start their own thing, but there's a few really ambitious ones who do. And I really encourage them to first work at a company. They're going through my program, they might be really talented and really good, but when you do want to go freelance or you want to start your own company and have a small team or whatever your ambition is, you're not actually going to be doing what you think. You're going to be running a business. And yes, you're going to be making websites or you're going to be designing websites. You're going to be doing whatever it is your company does. But that's a small part of it because who's the accountant? Who's taking care of the bills? Who's taking care of the marketing? And who's taking care of client outreach? And who's dealing with all the client problems? You're one person and you're going to be doing all of that. And then maybe if it's going well, you can think about, well, maybe I could hire somebody. But does it make sense to hire an accountant and a lawyer and 3 other employees right away? Probably not. You can hire people on a per job basis. You're a freelancer, you're running your own little business, and you get a job that's too big, or you get a client that you can't maybe do all of the work for in the time frame they need. Do you need to hire a second employee, or do you need to just get another freelancer to help you out on that one project? And I think stuff like that's really important to think about and understand. But going back to what I was just saying with the other students is I encourage them to work at a company, and it's because it's to see how the company is run. If you want to run your own company, make sure you work at a company. When I was my first real job in industry, because I had a long path to get into design, um, was at this really small firm, really small. I was underpaid, but it was a really nice learning experience, and I got a lot of knowledge and a lot of input. I was working directly with clients, but if I made a mistake, it wasn't all on me. It was partially my fault, and I had to take responsibility, but not everything fell on me. To keep track of deadlines, it wasn't all on me. I was responsible for the deadlines for my clients, but I very quickly worked my way up. So I was dealing directly with clients. So I got that interaction without having to have 100% of the responsibility, which was really good. I could go and talk to my boss and see how he's doing things. I'd go to meetings with him and see how he's interacting with clients, how he's upselling and how he's getting them to do more stuff. And I'm learning along the way. So even though I was underpaid, I was learning a lot. And I don't regret the years that I did there. So I think even if you don't think that you're want to work at a company the rest of your life and you want to start your own thing, I think that's cool. I think that's fun. But I think that it's important to learn from other people who have done it before. And I think it's something that not enough people do and often crash and burn because of it at the early beginnings. Or the other thing is they try and grow way too fast, which can really hurt. And that's what I said is it's really easy to get caught up. Oh, I have a bit of profit, now I can upgrade this. And I have a little bit of profit here, I can upgrade that. And then a client disappears on you. Someone doesn't pay when they were supposed to pay. Something happens along the way, your rent's due and you go bankrupt. So taking things like that into account are really, really important. And thinking about how you're going to grow and how you're going to be sustainable and how you're actually going to run your business are really, really important. And it should be a plan in place. So even if a client disappears on you when they were supposed to pay for something, what are you going to do? So, the idea of maybe you have 3 months of savings on the side. So you're working at a company, you're saving up money. Once you have 3 months of salary saved up, then you can go freelance. And ideas like that. And a lot of this is coming from Paul's book, and it's just he's not the only person who does push on things like this, but it was a really good read. And again, if there's a lot of things to think about, and I really encourage trying to get as many points of view as possible. It's not that I'm discouraging you to do it, because I think you should. I think if that's something you're thinking of doing, you should definitely 100% look into it and put your mind to that. But try and position yourself in 5 years. This is where I want to be. What would be the best way to get there? Is it to try and get like straight line like this, or can you do it exponentially? At the beginning, you're learning because you're working in another company, and you're doing a little side jobs and you're doing little things here and there. So you're building up a few clients on the side, you're doing jobs for them, you're getting a little bit of the ball rolling, you're saving up extra money, it's a side gig, and then all of a sudden things can just take off. Whereas at the exponential curve might go like this. Whereas if you just go freelance right away, you're paying for your own mistakes, you're paying for the problems that you're doing, and you're sort of just running along, and maybe your business is doing okay, but is it the best way you could have gone freelance or started your own company or whatever it is that you are envisioning yourself doing? So yeah, my main bit of advice is to, if you do think or envision yourself doing that, just to not get caught up necessarily in the hype and these super motivational guys that are out there, because it's easy to get caught up and be like rah 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 and just push ahead, and that's not necessarily the wrong way to do it, but be aware that there are other ways of doing it, and for you maybe another way is the better way to do it. And yeah, that's the main message I want to get across in this one. So about the book itself, I really encourage, as I've said a few times now, I really encourage people read it if they envision themselves going into freelance, or if they envision themselves getting into the world of business and starting their own company. It gives lots of examples, of real world examples, both from small companies and really, really big companies, and how slow growth has been beneficial to them and been beneficial in why they survived, and how the startup culture has actually hurt so many companies. And that you hear all these great stories of startups, but there's more that fail and more that don't actually make it within a very short period of time, and just to be careful with how you're planning and how you see things going. Um, if you'd like to be entered to win a copy of the book, what I'd encourage you to do is to just leave a comment down below. And I'm going to be doing a draw for 3 signed copies of the book. And anybody who is commented below will be entered into it. I was thinking of some other ways of doing it, but I feel that's the easiest way to do it, and probably the fairest way as well. So just leave a comment below. If you leave 10 comments, it won't get you extra entries. So don't leave 10 comments, leave 1 comment just saying that you'd like the book. If you have any stories of your own that you'd want to share, or if you do plan on being a freelancer, please leave comments about it down below. Or if you have any questions about it, please leave it down below. I'd love to comment and have discussions about this and answer any questions you may have regarding anything. I have worked as a freelancer. I still do side gigs on the side, even though I'm mainly a teacher and I have my YouTube thing going, but I still do little jobs here and there on the side. The draw for the book will be on January 11th. So if you're watching this video after that, I'm sorry, you can't be in. So on the 11th, I will be doing the draw, and I will be making a video declaring who the winner is. And once that has been done, just keep track of that if you did comment and you did want to win, because you'll have to get back in touch with me so we can exchange contact information and the signed book can be sent off to you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked this video. And again, if you have any ambitions of freelancing, I'd love it if you could let me know about them down below. I just want to say a big, massive thank you to my patrons for helping support everything I do here. You guys are great and amazing. And I have a new supporter of awesome. There's Lauren, who is being super generous and has reached my top supporter level. And so for that, he gets a shout out on top of all the other perks over on Patreon. So if you don't know about Patreon, or you want to check that out and see what perks you could get, go and head over to my page now. There is a link to it in the description of this video as well. And there is, of course, a link to the book Company of One. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, don't forget to make your corner of the internet just a little bit more awesome.